Hello everyone, this is your friendly orc artist, Dot from DJ Studios, and today I have decided to draw my character Stormy fighting one of the villains from the story The Book of Worlds, a comic that me and my sister are putting together. Please enjoy. So the character that I am drawing in this is known as Stormy, and Stormy is a non-binary half-elf. Stormy goes by them, they pronouns. They struggle with some people misgendering them. Stormy is also kind of like a druid, in a way. And as the story starts, and you start to really see who Stormy really is, and how their power actually starts to manifest, you start to understand what I mean by sort of a druid. Stormy has the ability to control all sorts of different weather, which is one reason why later on during the background that you see me doing right here, you start to see a storm forming. Stormy also has the ability to, of course, control nature and plant life, and they like to go headfirst into battle. So they use nature and all her glorious weaponry, known as plants, to their advantage in battle. But of course, Stormy isn't like this constantly. Stormy at first doesn't know how to fight or anything about even defending themselves. In fact, it is another character, Rex, that trains Stormy to fight, which, as you can see later on in the video, you'll start to realize that Stormy has a prosthetic arm, and the reason for that is because of the fact that Stormy's arm was cut off in battle, because Stormy did not know how to defend themselves at all. Now, Stormy is originally from the world that you see them in now, but they were taken as a baby by their mother to another world that you see them in at first, which, in the very beginning, they are known as Dot. And, of course, Dot is very much secluded into themselves. They don't want anything to do with anyone else, mainly because the relentless bullying. The only person in the school that doesn't bully them is Anna. Anna is one of the popular girls there at the school, and the only person that accepts Dot for who they are and does not bully them. Now, I've already mentioned this character once before, but they are a really big part of Stormy's life, and that is Rex. Now, the reason why Rex is such a big part of Stormy's story is not just because Rex teaches them how to fight, but also the fact that Rex is the very first person outside of Anna that actually accepts them for who they are, without a second thought. And for Stormy, that is such a big deal. Now, Topaz, as I've mentioned, is a half-fairy, and later on in the story, just like with Stormy, you'll find out the other half is. But when they first come into the world, both Stormy and Topaz, they are in completely separate areas. They got split up on the way to this world. And Topaz kind of ends up getting herself kidnapped. And when she wakes, she's chained to a wall and all of a sudden realizes she's got wings. I did not know this before because she ends up there and then all of a sudden is just taken away. Now, in the background, she can hear rustling. she can hear some sort of scuffle going on. And then all of a sudden, this very tall figure comes into the room and unshackles her and takes her away. Anticlimactic. It's not meant to be a very long part of the story, but it does end up becoming a larger part later on, because the people that kidnapped her are former fairies from the fairy kingdom that during the war between the vampires and the fairies, they were taken, made into slaves, and their wings were taken from them. So any fairies that they come across that has wings, they like to take those wings away and sell them on the black market because you get for a high price. So after rescuing Topaz, he introduces himself as Aiden, the prince of both vampires and demons. And they decide that the next course of action is to, of course, spend the night in the woods, and then just the next day start traveling towards the nearby village. The village is kind of blocked in with a wall. They're fortified, so they have to go through the gates in order to get in. And there at the gates, Aiden and Topaz are met with Rex and Stormy. Now, Stormy and Topaz have never seen each other as they are in this world. They only recognize each other by their human form. So, of course, they don't know each other in this particular moment. But Aiden and Rex know each other and are kind of talking with each other and just kind of catching up with each other and look at each other and they're like, oh, you have a companion with you too. Like, what's up with that? What's going on here? And then, of course, they explain to each other what's going on and how they met their companions and kind of the story that these companions have already told them. And they're like, excuse me? I know you! And they're just excited too that they actually know each other, but they're also kind of weirded out that they don't look anything like they did before they came to this world. Very confused, happy to finally find someone that they know, but confused that the person that they know doesn't look like the person that they know. They go in and they go into this tavern / inn known as the Dragon Inn, which is run by Rex's adopted mother, Mabel. Mabel is a dragon that disguises herself as a dragonborn. And she, of course, welcomes them in and then takes a look at these two companions and is like, somehow I feel like I recognize you. And that's when she recalls their mothers. She knows their mothers. And so she knows who these two are, their birth names, and everything. Gives them just a little bit of history on, you know, why they're able to come here and why they look the way they do, but doesn't lay down the entire thing just yet. First tells them that they need to find their other parent, their fathers. They need to make that journey. Their dads, of course, they've not been in their lives, not due because they didn't want to be in their lives, but because their mothers took them away from this world the day they were born. So their dads didn't have a choice. Well, they decide to stay there at the inn. And the next day, Rex decides to do kind of a perimeter run of the wall, which she does anytime she's there. And that's when they come across this giant hole in the wall in realizes that someone has gotten in that shouldn't be there. So Rex and Stormy end up running into town while Aiden and Topaz are looking for anyone who might live over there by the wall. They run into town and they find the town just straight up being attacked. There's fire everywhere, there's houses on fire. Rex is telling Stormy, I'm gonna go check to make sure my mother's okay. Stormy is trying to help by putting out fire. They get this pail and try to put out some fire with some water. Well, in that meantime, one of these bad dudes comes over and is like, look at you, hello, I'm gonna stab you, and cuts them in the arm. And right there is when there's like this black stuff kind of under the skin, kind of eating away at the tissue. And that's when they put up their right hand, to kind of block the next attack. And they stab right into, the person stabs right into their hand and leaves the knife in their hand, which starts turning black almost immediately as the tissue is being eaten away. And it just travels up the arm. That is when Rex steps in and takes the knife out so it doesn't keep traveling from there. It goes above the elbow and it just stops. Rex takes Stormy over to Adam, who is the doctor of this village. He takes one look at them and says, there's nothing I can do to save the arm. Rex is, of course, upset because she feels like it's her fault. Stormy had already told her that they don't fight because they were never trained to fight. They were never trained to defend themselves. And this is one reason why they were able to attack so often. For allowing it to happen, and is trying to plead with Adam to save her arm, save their arm. And he goes, I can't. The tissue, you see how black it is? The tissue's already dead. There's nothing more to do. The arm has to come off. It is of no use to them anymore. Finally gives in and stops trying to plead because she realizes that this is serious. Adam would not keep saying the same thing unless it was serious, because Adam would absolutely try to save the arm if he could. But he can't. So Stormy ends up going into surgery to lose the arm. But luckily there is a little friend about who has made prosthetics in the past for others, and she ends up making a prosthetic arm. Which right here you can see that Stormy here has a metal arm. That is the arm that is built for them. It is connected to the bone and is kind of hardwired into the nervous system, so they're able to control this robotic hand as if it was their own hand. Now in this hand, on the top of the hand, there is a kind of a jewel, and this jewel was actually on the book that Stormy had opened, that opened up this portal to this new world. And this gem has a lot of magic in it. So Vicky, which is the character, the person who ends up making this prosthetic arm with alien technology, because of course Vicky is an alien, not from this world, and is able to travel back and forth from this world to her planet to get supplies and other things that she uses to make this stuff. So she has a lot of knowledge when it comes to this alien technology. But this gem, Vicky uses to power up this entire arm. Without it, the arm is literally useless. With it, it's just like as if their arm were not even cut off. Rex, of course, feels absolutely horrible and keeps saying that it's all her fault. Stormy doesn't look at it nowhere near the same. In fact, Stormy takes this as a lesson. Like, this place is very dangerous. But it's a lesson that they will hold dear to their heart. They have no anger or anything towards Rex at all. They realized what was going on, and they even told Rex that her main priority was her mother, not someone that she just met. So Stormy, that's how Stormy sees it. And in fact, absolutely loves this new arm. And of course, when they go to leave, this is when their entire look changes, and so the look that Stormy has, as what you see here, is not how they came into the village, but that is how they left. And they go up and they find Stormy's dad, which they find out that he is the king of elves and is gay and has a husband who is a Firbolg. And of course, Stormy is very like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, how was I born? How am I your kid if you're gay? And of course, their dad explains to them that the reason why is because there was a prophecy, and their mother came to him about it, and he decided that since he needed an heir anyway to the throne, and their mother needed a child to become the hero of this land, or one of the heroes of this land, he saw fit for both of them to have a win-win type situation. And it was actually Stormy's dad who ended the war between the elves and the orcs. It was Stormy's great-grandfather that started all the rumors and everything, and it was Stormy's grandfather that started the actual war between the orcs and the elves, and trying to kill the orcs that were near the kingdom. Not in the kingdom, but near the kingdom. And it was Stormy's dad that rescued those orcs and put them in a new place where they would be safe, and then ended the war after they were safe. And it was actually that group of orcs that Stormy's dad saved that Rex's family was a part of. And that's how we find out that how Rex's mom, that her birth mother, actually died. Because Stormy's dad tried to save them all, but unfortunately he couldn't save everyone, and some of the orcs actually lost their lives. Rex's mother lost her life protecting Rex's infant body. If it wasn't for that, Rex would have been killed too. And then, of course, Stormy and Rex, they go on this whole journey together to go find Rex's family, but we can talk about that much later. Now, around this same time, Topaz and Aiden are visiting the Fairy Kingdom and find out that Topaz's dad is, of course, the king of the fairies. Now, Topaz is my sister's character, and my sister is coming up with Topaz's entire backstory, so I don't even have all of the story there. So, we can talk about Topaz and all that in a later video. So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to let the rest of this video play out. You can sit here and watch as I shade and edit the picture, and I will see you at the end. Alright, see you at the end. So we're coming up to the end of the video here. So I'm going to say thank you all for staying until the very end of the video. I enjoyed all of your company, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.